Freeport News. Roque Neurochem Solutions denies liability. Investigations into the black brain outbreak continue despite insufficient evidence connecting the corporation to illegal bioengineering programs.
As if some part of him resisted leaving wherever he had been. In the dream, there had been no ground, no horizon either, only a vast, shifting expanse above him, layered, immense, and wrong in a way his mind could not fully accept. It was not a sky. It only wore the shape of one. Something moved within it. It was neither drifting or falling. It gave the impression that whatever it was moving with intention. Then came some sort of pressure as meaning of communication. However, it was not a sound. It was not a voice either. But something that formed meaning directly, bypassing language. Still walking. Ethan opened his eyes sharply. The ceiling above him was low, uneven, real. The kind of structure that had been built long ago and repaired too many times to remember its original purpose. For a moment, he lay still, breathing carefully, letting the weight of his body settle into something he could measure. Then the pain arrived. It spread through his lower back in a slow, deliberate wave, as if reminding him that whatever had happened in the tunnel had not been resolved, only endured. He clenched his jaw and shifted slightly. His legs barely responded, although it was enough for the moment. The room carried the stillness of controlled space. Someone had been here recently, as there were tools arranged with purpose, and surfaces cleared without waste. This was not a scavenger's shelter. It was maintained. Ethan had been found by some form of a cult. He had heard the name before. Keepers. People in the Barrens spoke it quietly. Usually with fear. In the Barrens, they had a reputation of being a dangerous sect, celebrating sacrifices, and everyone avoided them, even the well-organized gangs, for those keepers had their own security personnel. Ethan was surprised to see families there, working together, sharing. Inside the area controlled by keepers, there were entire warehouses where real vegetables and fruits were grown organically. That alone was a fortune, as only top government officers and corporates could afford that. It was a community. They called it New Avalon. Ethan found amusing that the people of New Avalon worshipped the gods of ancient mythology in Eternalia, with praise, sometimes together, sometimes alone. Footsteps approached from beyond the doorway, measured, unhurried. The woman entered without announcement. She wore no visible insignia, no armor, nothing that marked allegiance in the way corporate agents did. But there was structure in how she carried herself, an outcome of discipline, not merely habit.
You are awake.
That's what it looks like.
You should not have regained mobility this quickly.
I didn't. I just stopped waiting for it.
Considered that for a moment, then stepped further into the room.
Your neural activity increased during rest, significantly.
You mean the dreams?
If that is your preferred classification.
He pushed himself up slightly against the wall behind him, ignoring the way his spine protested the movement.
They're not random.
That caught her attention, not visibly, but something in her posture shifted, just enough for Ethan to register.
No, they are not.
She turned toward the far wall. A panel responded to her presence, flickering to life. Light spread across the surface. It was not clean, not perfectly rendered, and it appeared layered. Structures emerged gradually, overlapping with one another in ways that suggested depth far beyond what was being displayed. Old systems, older than the city above them, buried beneath it. Ethan watched as the image stabilized. It wasn't a standard map, there were way too many gaps, too many inconsistencies. And yet, something in him recognized it.
Where is this?
Beneath you, beneath everything.
He studied it more carefully. Lines that didn't connect. Pathways that ended abruptly. Entire sections that seemed to exist without explanation. And beneath all of it, there was a shape. It was not clearly defined, but it was present for sure. It was like something the map was built around rather than depicting.
I've seen this, in my dreams, not like this. But, I've been there.
He knew that, and the certainty remained. The woman stepped closer to the display. Silence followed. This time, it carried weight.
What do you see?
He hesitated, trying to put it into words made it feel less stable, as if the act of describing it might break whatever fragile coherence it had.
The sky, but not a real one. Something above it. Moving. Not like anything I've seen before. It's not chaos, not in the way people describe it, it's organized.
Please continue.
There's direction in it, like it's not just happening, it's going somewhere, and it noticed me.
That was the part that didn't make sense. That was the part that made everything else worse. The room felt smaller for a moment. The woman turned back to the display. For the first time since Ethan had met her, she did not respond immediately.
What you are describing may be interpreted in dangerous ways.
Yeah, I got that part.
She gestured toward the structure beneath the map.
The system you are observing is centered around a fixed construct, one that predates current civilization layers.
Ethan followed her gesture.
That thing, what is it?
The anchor.
The word settled into the room. It felt older than the space it was spoken in. Ethan looked at it again. The shape beneath everything else. The thing his mind kept returning to without permission.
What does it do?
The woman's expression remained composed.
It maintains a boundary between this world and external influence.
And the dreams?
We believe that something is using you to reach it. Older civilizations might have called such experiences divine.
That should have sounded impossible. It didn't though, he has felt it. Thoughts that were not his, knowledge that he had never learnt. Ethan leaned his head back against the wall, closing his eyes briefly. The pressure returned immediately. It was stronger now, less fragmented.
Go there.
He opened his eyes again. The decision was already there.
I need to get there.
The woman nodded once. She did not look surprised. That unsettled Ethan more than agreement would have.
That will not be simple.
Ethan pushed himself slightly forward, testing his balance. Pain answered. He tried to ignore it.
It doesn't need to be simple, it just needs to be possible.
The woman studied him for a moment longer. Then, finally.
It is, but not alone or in your current state.
Then we'll fix that on the way.
He looked back at the map one last time. At the anchor. At the place he had never been, and somehow already knew. Somewhere beyond the reach of sight, beyond the limits of what Eternalia believed itself to be, something continued to move. Not blindly, but with direction. And for the first time, it had begun to align with a single, human trajectory.